Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, starring Viola Davis, Chadwick Boseman, his posthumous portrayal of a character of a trumpet player named Levee. He is not around to enjoy the accolades that comes from his stellar performance in this film. We need the other people because I want to talk about Glenn Thurman and I want to talk about Domingo and I mean everyone in this. This is an ensemble piece, hard hitters, and it deals with, on a larger scale, it deals with a psychosis, and we're going to get to that, right?
Right.
So go ahead and go through the people real quick. We already talked about Chad and
Viola, right? Of course, they're starring in it along with Taylor Page, Coleman Domingo, who we have reviewed in multiple films, Glenn Thurman. Now, if you know, we just talked about him on Fargo. Right. Oh, and he killed it in Fargo.
Yes, he did. And, of course, J.D.'s Revenge, classic. Right. And, of course, Cooley High. If you haven't seen these films, keep going.
Jeremy Shamos, Michael Potts, Dusan Brown, Jonathan Coyne, Remington Sinclair, Phil Nundarzi, and Will Canny.
And of course, extras that are in Chicago.
Right.
So the story opens up, and there is a car accident or a car incident, and you really don't know what's happening. And this is where you see Ma Rainey's her full personality comes to life. She arcs in the. So she did not need, she was not beholding, and this is what you see in this film, that she is not beholding to the record company that wants to record her voice. Because she is already raking in bank. She is self-determined. She is a self-determined American black woman. This is what you see. Now, like the Ma Rainey character, the Levee character wants to be self-determined, but he uses his mouthpiece a lot, maybe too much, to be self-determined and not be willing to, I would say, pay dues. Right. And so he's not willing to pay dues, but each one of the band members, because they are Ma Rainey's band, not the band that has Ma Rainey singing for them. It's Ma Rainey's band. Each band member, you get to know who they are in this film, There is a discrepancy. Because Ma Rainey is the mother of the blues. But as American blacks started to move up north, their taste began to change. And Levee represents the person who is a little anxious, a little too anxious to push forward with the new. And Ma Rainey said, if it ain't broke, it ain't no need to get it fixed. Right? And so this is, it's a tug of war between the older generation and the younger generation, and in between there is a story being told about each individual character.
August Wilson, the playwright, he did an excellent job, and he revealed to the audience why Levee is the way he is. So we're not going to give anything away. You have to watch it, but it is revealed to you Levee's background and what he experienced growing up. So it does give you a feel for why maybe he is the type of person he is.
Right, and so it gives you, but Ma Rainey is not privy to that.
Right.
Now,
Right.
so the film is great, right? I've never seen the play. Maybe I'll go to YouTube and find and check out the play, because I'm sure they have the play up, right? But what I notice when people pass on, when you go to Google and you type in the cast of Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, Chadwick Boseman's picture is first one. Actually, Viola Davis's picture should be first, because she is the star of the film. He would be co-star.
Yeah.
Right? But because he died, they changed up what it is, and to me, my only criticism about it's great though.
Right.
It's great, it's entertaining. My only criticism about it, my only critique, it's not a criticism, is that they cut it more to, it's less about Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, the recording of Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, and it's more about the interaction between the band members.
Maybe that's how the play is set up.
And is it?
Yeah.
I thought that it was more about Ma Rainey and explain her. Is that how this play is made up?
That's what I have a feeling. Because when they did Fences, when Denzel did, speaking of that, Denzel was one of the executive producers. Right, for Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. But August Wilson also did Fences, right? So when Denzel did Fences, and it's been years since I've seen Fences, they did a really great job.
But who was the star of? Who was the protagonist? The main story was about Denzel's character. So this only goes to reason that they cut more about the band members and less about Ma Rainey.
Okay.
Whereas the movie is called Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. Now they gave you enough to know that Ma Rainey was self-determined, and that the people who were recording her were not getting over on her without giving her everything that she desired, that she requested to be there in the hot studio. And you know, on the inside, when it's 110 degrees on the outside, it feels like 125 on the inside without air conditioning. Right?
Yeah.
So you get enough, and you get enough of her story, but it's more about the interplay between the the bandmates, right? And not so much about Ma Rainey. So that's my only.
I feel like they gave me enough to get a feel of Ma Rainey's, her character, as well as her personal life. So I'm not going to go into detail for those who haven't seen it. And then you get a feel for, you're introduced to her, you learn about her personal life, right? And then they move over to the band, and you learn about them.
It was really more
about Levee.
Because the band walks in before she even gets there. Then it shows Levee coming in late for a reason.
But we're not talked about that though. It's beautifully done, because I love like the interaction between the band members. Like that was a whole story telling of its own.
That's what I'm saying. But the whole point was, it could have been, the title of the film could have been Levee's,
but it wasn't.
Rise
That's
and
not
Fall
what it was called.
And Ma Rainey's band, because that's really what the context was. That's not how August Wilson wrote it, but that is how they cut it.
It was still
for this film.
Well done.
And I have to watch it. Not saying that it's not well done. I'm just saying that.
Okay.
It was set up because when you shoot film, you shoot a lot of everything. You shoot extended scenes. They could have cut down on the band scenes and had the more extended scenes of Viola Davis, but because
maybe it was
Chadwick Boseman put in such good work, I'm not denying his work.
Okay.
But what I'm saying is he put in such good work that they shifted the theme of the play, or what August Wilson was saying, to give Chadwick Boseman his shine.
Kind of like in honor of him.
That's right, in honor of him. Okay. And so it goes through and you see this.
Okay. We have to watch we'll have to watch the play during Christmas.
Yeah, we have to watch the play during Christmas, because I'm sure that it's more than that. But now, about the psychosis. Okay. There's a psychosis in the film that something happens and somebody should have just had killed the Caucasian, because you're going to wind up in prison anyway. And that's all we're going to say about that. But the psychosis of it winds up that you do it to your brother and not the other that harms you, right? And so this is where we're going to leave it. Cinematography, 10.
Beautiful.
Wardrobe, 10.
Right.
Period piece, making Chicago that 1920s Chicago, that's a 10. The acting and the emoting of everyone involved. Glenn Turman.
Right.
Domingo. Yes. The interplay between the men. Right? Yes. How actually playing the dozens or laughing and making fun of is really rooted in what people really believe about another person. So I never dealt in that, because it gets into
it could go
other things. It can go other ways, right? So the emoting, that's a 10. The pacing of it, and how they intercut in between to tell a new version of the story, I believe, but we're gonna find out. That's a 10. Okay. Just overall the low key the low key film, the capture of the hazy sky with the extra large sun beating down this heat, the sweat rolling off of Ma Rainey throughout the film. That is a 10.
And I mean, Viola Davis, I mean, you're talking about dedication. They used padding on her, but she also mentioned that she gained weight for the film also. So she was truly dedicated to the role. It was just well done.
What would you give?
Definitely a 10. I mean, because it was just so well done. I love ensemble cast. I love the conversations. And it's just, we were laughing actually when we were listening to the band members. Actually, it made you feel like you were a fly on the wall, right? So well written. I mean, it's just like a conversation that you can see people actually having, when they were just talking and telling stories, and it was just well done. And you notice the theme, like Sylvie's Love, Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, musicians. So that was nice, So the music was superb, and after hearing her, the performances when Viola in the scenes when she was performing the songs, I said, okay, I'm gonna have to check out Ma Rainey's stuff, because growing up I was always familiar with Bessie Smith, right?
Bessie Smith comes in after her.
Yeah, and I was familiar with her years ago. I mean, I remember doing a report on Bessie Smith. This is what is this, music appreciation class that I had to take in college. And so I did a story on Bessie Smith, and we played her music in class.
The first million-seller race records.
Period. She was the first, they said, female.
She was the first million-seller, period.
Period. Bar none. Men, women, didn't matter what race or culture.
That's right.
The first.
Yeah. Right.
So, but to learn about Ma Rainey, and hearing some of her music, I said, okay, let me listen to some of her stuff. So, Viola brought it to life. She definitely brought that character to life.
So, you know, I give it a 10. Ma Rainey's Black Bottom is a 10.